Nobody tells you ChatGPT and the API are totally different products. Most people assume they're the same thing, just different ways to access GPT-4. But they're not. One's a finished product built for humans to chat with. The other is raw infrastructure built for developers to build on top of. That distinction changes everything about how you use AI. Think of it like this. ChatGPT is the iPhone that comes out of the box, already set up, already beautiful, ready to use. The OpenAI API is the circuit board inside that phone. Way more powerful, way more flexible, but you have to know what you're doing to get anything useful out of it. ChatGPT lives at chat.openai.com, and it's a consumer product with a built-in interface, conversation memory, pre-built plugins, file uploads, image generation, and a subscription model. You pay $20 a month and you get a polished experience that does a lot of things reasonably well without any setup required. The API is different. You access it through code, Python, JavaScript, whatever, and you send requests directly to OpenAI servers. There's no chat window, no memory by default, no built-in tools, just raw model output in exchange for tokens, which you pay for per use. But here's where it gets wild. The pricing models are completely different, and most people don't realize that the API can actually be cheaper or more expensive depending on how you use it, and that gap is enormous once you start scaling anything. With ChatGPT Plus, you're paying a flat $20 a month no matter how much or how little you use it. That's great if you're a heavy user who's in there every single day asking hundreds of questions. But if you're a developer running thousands of automated calls, flat fee makes zero sense. API pricing works on tokens. Roughly 4 characters equals 1 token, so about 75 words equals 100 tokens. GPT-4o right now costs around $2.50 per million input tokens and $10 per million output tokens. That sounds cheap until your app starts getting real traffic and suddenly you're reading your billing dashboard like a horror novel. But here's what nobody explains clearly. ChatGPT has a system prompt baked in that you never see. OpenAI has already instructed the model to be helpful, harmless, follow certain safety guidelines, maintain a certain tone. You're working within those invisible guardrails whether you want to or not. The API gives you the system prompt yourself. You write it. You control it completely. That means you can tell the model to be a pirate, a harsh critic, a customer service bot with a specific brand voice, a medical assistant that only answers in bullet points. The model will follow your instructions because you're the one giving them now. Here's a real example that makes this click. Let's say you're building a customer support tool for a software company. With ChatGPT, you can't stop the model from answering questions about unrelated topics. You can't guarantee it will always stay in character, and you can't really customize the experience at scale. It's a chat product, not a building block. With the API, you can write a system prompt that says something like, "You are a support assistant for Acme Software. You only answer questions related to our product. If a user asks about anything else, you politely redirect them." Now, every single response is shaped by that instruction set. That's the difference between a product and a platform. But here is where it gets wild. Memory works completely differently in each environment. And this is one of the biggest practical differences that nobody talks about enough when they're comparing these two things side by side. ChatGPT has persistent memory now, at least in the paid tier. It can remember your name, your preferences, your job, your projects across sessions. It builds a profile of you over time and uses that context to give better answers. It's genuinely useful if you're using it as a personal productivity tool day in and day out. The API has no memory whatsoever by default. Every single API call is stateless. It has no idea who you are, what you said before, or what conversation happened 5 seconds ago unless you manually include that history in every single request you send. That's not a bug, that's the design, because memory costs tokens and tokens cost money. So if you're building a chatbot on the API and you want it to remember the conversation, you have to maintain what's called a message array yourself. You store every previous user message and assistant response and send the whole thing back with each new request. This gets expensive fast as conversations get longer, and managing it is genuinely one of the trickier parts of building with the API. Here is where it gets wild. The models you can access are actually different between ChatGPT and the API. And the version you're chatting with in the browser isn't always the same model that's available through raw API access, which matters a lot if you're trying to build something production-grade. OpenAI also offers fine-tuning through the API, which is something you simply cannot do through the ChatGPT interface at all. Fine-tuning means you take a base model and train it further on your own data, your company documents, your writing style, your domain-specific knowledge, so it behaves more like your custom model than a general-purpose assistant. And there's function calling, which is an API-only feature that lets the model return structured JSON instead of freeform text, and it lets you connect the model to your own tools and databases in a really precise way. ChatGPT has tools and plugins, but they're pre-built. Function calling lets you define exactly what the model can reach out and do. Think about what that unlocks. You could build a system where the model reads a user's question, decides it needs to look up today's inventory data, calls your database function, gets the result back, and then writes a response incorporating real live data. That's not a chat product anymore. That's an intelligent backend service. But here's another thing that surprises people. Rate limits are handled completely differently between the two products. ChatGPT has soft usage limits built in, especially around the advanced models. You've probably hit that wall where it says you've reached your GPT for limit and have to wait an hour. That's a consumer-friendly throttle. The API has tiered rate limits based on your usage tier, how much you've spent historically, and those limits are measured in requests per minute and tokens per minute and can be formally increased by contacting OpenAI if your use case requires it. This is infrastructure designed to scale, not a conversational product designed to feel natural. Here is where it gets wild. Latency is also meaningfully different. And if you're building something real-time or user-facing, this matters more than almost any other technical consideration you'll deal with when choosing between these two approaches for your project. Streaming is available on the API, which means you can display tokens as they're generated one by one rather than waiting for the full response before showing anything. ChatGPT does this visually in the browser and you're used to seeing it. But through the API, you have to implement streaming yourself if you want that same snappy feel in your own app. Let's also talk about integrations because this is where developers really fall in love with the API. You can embed it inside any application, any workflow, any automation tool you're already using. Zapier, Make, custom Python scripts, web apps, mobile apps, internal tools, Slack bots, email automations. The API is just an endpoint. It goes wherever you point it. ChatGPT does have a GPT Builder feature now, where you can create custom versions with specific instructions and knowledge files and deploy them inside the ChatGPT ecosystem. That's genuinely powerful for non-developers. But you're still inside OpenAI's sandbox. You're not taking that GPT and embedding it in your own website or your own app without extra work. Here is where it gets wild. The cost difference at scale is something that will genuinely shock you if you've never thought about it. A company running 10,000 API calls a day with average response lengths could easily spend hundreds of dollars monthly, whereas an individual power user spending 6 hours a day in ChatGPT is paying $20. The economics are completely inverted. And there's a deeper philosophical difference here that I think is worth sitting with. ChatGPT is designed to be a general-purpose assistant for anyone. The API is designed to be infrastructure for people who are building something specific. They're not competing products. They're products for completely different jobs, and using the wrong one costs you time, money, or capability. If you're a creator, a student, a professional who wants AI assistance in your daily workflow, ChatGPT is genuinely the right tool. It's polished, it's capable, it keeps getting better, and the $20 a month is probably the best software value most knowledge workers can buy right now given what it actually does. If you're a developer, an entrepreneur, someone building a product, or automating a business process at scale, the API is your path because the control, the customization, the ability to build on top of it, and the scalable pricing model gives you things ChatGPT structurally cannot give you no matter how much you pay for it. So to land the plane, 3 things to remember. ChatGPT is a consumer product with built-in memory, tools, and a flat subscription. The API is raw infrastructure with full control over system prompts, memory, and model behavior. And the right choice depends entirely on whether you're using AI or building with it. Drop a comment right now. Are you currently using ChatGPT, the API, or both? And what are you actually trying to build or do with it?